Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm on the move this morning preparing for tomorrow morning. We got the early buck hunt in the morning and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday. And I'm just finalizing some things for that, getting ready for that. Excited about it. Excited. It'd be the first time that I've hunted with a crossbow before, so it's a huge learning curve, trying to learn everything. Got everything sighted in, got everything good to go, and hopefully I can harvest me a deer this weekend. That will be absolutely amazing. Looking forward to it. Normally I only hunt the modern gun, but this year I decided, with my wrist problems and all of that, that I would give a crossbow a chance. And sighting it in and everything, I didn't have any wrist issues, so that's exciting. If everything works out and I get it done in time, there will be a video coming out on Come On Homesteading today that is going to be a good one. I haven't edited it yet. I'm actually on my way home right now to do that. As long as the computer forces out there in the world are kind to me, I should be able to get it out later on this evening. So be on the lookout for that. If not, it'll come out tomorrow for sure. But trying to get it out today. Trying to stay on schedule for you guys. I'm going to flip y'all around. I'm actually in Paris. Hola! Let's see here. Make sure that it's a little foggy, isn't it? I wonder what's going on with that. Why? There it is. Clear it up a little bit. The autofocus must not be cracking like it's supposed to. Had some amazing food last night. Had me some burritos and some refried beans. It was really good. I'll be eating that for lunch again today. I worked my booyaka off yesterday out in the woods on the new property. It was a much bigger project than I was expecting it to be, but me and Uber got it done. But a lot of work, about 9 million steps that I took yesterday. Definitely got my steps in, to say the least. But it's coming a long way. It was really cool working on the new property. Haven't really done anything with it up to this point since I bought it in January. And it was nice to get out there and spend some time. And let me tell you, there are some beautiful trees on the new property. There's a bunch of huge oaks and all kinds of stuff. Made me feel like I was back in Florida there for a minute with all the oak trees that I seen. Look at those views this morning, guys. Yesterday was Mike's birthday. Wished him a happy birthday. Went down and visited those guys, seen what they got going on. And then I actually went out. Wow. I'm gonna have to fix that autofocus. That right there is just not gonna work. Let me clean my windshield a little bit too. It's raining. I wish. Just not this weekend, please. That is better. Click the screen, clear it up for you guys. That way y'all can see the views. I don't know what happened to my autofocus. Struggling. That's better. This ride in between Paris and Magazine is a nice ride. Got some pretty views. I like taking this trip on my bike. I haven't rode my bike in a couple of weeks. I definitely want to do that. I was supposed to go for a ride on Sunday, but it was calling for rain, so it got rescheduled. And I was also supposed to go riding with Anthony and Roxanne, but you know, they're on the West Coast right now. With family stuff. I actually talked to them and checked in with them yesterday, just to make sure they're doing all right and everything's good. And they are, you know, it's tough whenever you got family stuff like that going on. But I'm glad they was able to make the trip and get out there. I know it meant a lot to Roxanne. So just checking on the fam, making sure that they're okay. Look at those bright, beautiful skies. And today I'll be editing that video and somewhat taking it easy today, kind of just doing some last minute stuff, getting ready for this weekend. I'm very, very excited to try out this archery season. I have shot a compound bow and a long bow and stuff like that before, but it's been a while. It's been a while. And I was never that good at it to begin with. Maybe if I ever get my wrist situated again, I'll try that out again. And now that I'm at a point in life where I got the space and stuff to actually practice and dial it in and stuff, but I have found that I am pretty good with a crossbow. Pretty good. Once we got that thing sighted in, it was a dead shot every time. So that makes me comfortable with hunting with it. I would not go hunting with it if I didn't feel like I could hunt properly and be humane with the hunting, because that is very important to me. I'm not just going to go out there and not know if I can actually be able to target one the way that it's supposed to be targeted and everything else. But pretty much once I got it sighted in and everything, I was one shot bullseye for 40, 50, and 60 yards, and 30 yards too, but 30 yards is where I sighted it in to start with to get the scope about where it needed to be. So it is dialed in for sure. I'm definitely very confident that I can make the shot, make a humane shot. So definitely going to give it a try this weekend. It's a lot of work getting set up because it's a new area. Last year I put all that work into the area that I was hunting last year, but the dozer just cleared all of that out. So I'm basically getting set up for my next hunting area, which is the new property, and it hasn't been hunted in a while. It looked like there was a lot of overgrown stuff, and which y'all have seen on that last video where y'all seen that 10 point that I walked up on while it was bedding. A lot of work needed to take place to get ready for that. So I've been working my butt off trying to get ready, and I believe that I am there. I got a couple odds and end things to do today, and I actually want to take my target down there and practice taking a couple of shots out of the tree stand, because from what I've heard, with a bow it's a little different. So I want to make sure that I know what to aim for as far as the difference of shooting from above instead of straight and flat. So I'll go down there and do a little practice in the midday, because by evening I want it to settle, and don't want no movement down there until tomorrow morning. It's going to be exciting. I know Gary from SLR, he is pumped. He is excited as well. I think me and Gary, as far as the Fram goes, are the only two that's really hunters in our area. Other people haven't quite got to that point yet, I believe, in their journey. I know they will be eventually. I think Mama V does a little hunting. But yeah, I think me and Gary are the ones that's really dialed into it. And of course we got Tim over there in Tennessee, and we got Mike over there in Mississippi. But as far as our area, I don't really know of anybody else that really hunts. Besides Mama V, I know that she'll get her one here or there. I don't know how into it she is, but she does what she needs to do. And I believe that's it. I know some other people are wanting to get to that point, but they just ain't to that point in the journey, which I can relate to, because the first year I was out here, I didn't get set up until 2 days before the hunting season was over, and I didn't even know that it was that late in the season. So seasons are a little bit different here than in Florida, and the modern gun season here is really short. So that was another reason why I wanted to kind of move into bow hunting, because basically you can bow hunt the whole season, all the way until February here. And I've been kicking around the idea of getting a crossbow for a couple years now, and this year I finally pulled the trigger and went ahead and did it. So, and my wrist was a big factor on that, because the way that it is, I can pull the string back because it doesn't bend my wrist in the position that it hurts it. And the crossbow is actually lighter than my rifle, and the trigger positioning is different. And when we was out there sighting everything in, I was able to sight it in and take a lot of shots, and my wrist was not too bad. But then when I went to go sight in my rifle, within a couple of shots my wrist was swelled up and hurting. So I might end up hunting this whole season with bow instead of rifle. So we'll see. It ought to be determined on how my wrist is feeling, I guess, and how well I do with it. So, but looking forward to it. I've learned a lot. That's another thing that I've enjoyed about all of this, is just learning. I love to learn new things, and there's so much to learn, you know, with all of it. And I'm one that definitely wants to know about it. I don't want to go out there like half-cocked and not know what I'm doing and all of that, because I want to be safe. I want to be humane and all of that. That's very important to me, and as it should be with everybody, in my opinion. And so I definitely do my due diligence and my research and all of that. And bottom line is, if I didn't think I was good enough to do it, I wouldn't do it, because I'm not going to be unhumane with it. I'm all about being humane and sustainable, and I think hunting is very important for my way of life. And I also enjoy venison and other wild game. I actually prefer to eat venison over like hamburger meat and stuff like that. I'd rather have ground venison than anything else. I think I've said before, my parents haven't, they bought one pack of hamburger in like the last 20 years. And my mom wasn't happy about it when that happened. So that's probably where it comes from, that I enjoy it as much as I do. I think this year, though, I still got some backstrap and stuff from last year, and some roast that I didn't cook this year. So I think this year I'm just going to keep backstraps, and then I'm going to turn the rest of it into ground, because I use a lot more of the ground meat than I do any of the other. So definitely thinking that most of what I process this year will be ground, for sure. It's also easier to process with just ground. Now, if I do end up getting me a big one, I would like to, the first buck that I get and harvest on the mountain, I would like to get it mounted and put it up there with George, because George is the first deer ever that I harvested. So I would like to get the first one on the mountain and have it mounted to go with George. I'm not really a trophy hunter per se. I'm more of a meat hunter, but if I end up with a trophy in the process, I'm not mad at it. But I would like to mount the first buck off the mountain. I got the first doe last year, and hopefully I can get me a nice buck this year. That's the goal. But at the end of the day, if I'm not seeing a nice buck, then I will harvest a couple of dough just for filling the freezers. My goal is to harvest enough this year that I need to go get me a real stand-up, like, big freezer. Right now I have a little small chest freezer that I use, and that works for day-to-day groceries and stuff like that, and just gives me an overflow for my refrigerator there at the tiny house, because I have a smaller refrigerator. It's about half the size of a standard refrigerator, which works fine for just me, but there's not a lot of freezer capacity in there. So I have one of those small ones that you get, chest freezers that you get from Walmart, and it stays pretty much full, so there's not a lot of space in there. So I'm hoping I can harvest enough this year to justify getting a stand-up freezer, because those chest freezers, they serve their purpose and they're compact and stuff, but man, it's hard to kind of use them, and you forget what's at the bottom, and you got to dig for everything and stuff like that. So I'd like to get a nice stand-up one where I can keep everything organized. So we'll see. I do have a lot of harvesting coming up with just animals that I'm raising coming up soon, so I'm gonna need space anyways. So we'll see what happens. Problem is they're proud of those stand-up freezers right now, and I also want to do my research on that, and I want one that works well, that's got large capacity, but does not use a lot of power, just because I am off grid, and use batteries and stuff like that to charge stuff. So that's also a consideration when you're thinking about stuff like that. But it is definitely that time of year. I'm always very thankful whenever it's hunting season, because that tells me that fall is near, and that means that this high humidity in these 100-degree days are nearing an end. And I always like summer at the beginning, but I am always ready for summer to end at the end, because a lot of times we do a lot of projects outside, and it kicks your booty, and it has definitely kicked my butt this year for sure. But I feel like I've done a lot better this year. Last summer, I mean, I worked myself to death, literally almost to death, almost a little too hard, honestly. Had some health issues last year because of it, which y'all remember. If y'all been with me this whole year, y'all understand why and what I did and why I was doing it and all of that. And this year I really wanted to take some time with my granddaughter and not take on any big projects this summer, which I did, and I have no regrets with that. We had an absolute blast. My granddaughter had an amazing time, and for me, that's everything. I did get a lot accomplished this summer, just a lot of smaller projects and stuff. And then once my granddaughter went back, I went full-blown again, and we got all that land cleared, and really organizing the homestead and stuff like that. And we're still continuing with that. I got a bunch of stuff for inside the cabin and the tiny house for that same situation, getting organized and settled a little bit better, and getting everything to function better, which y'all see those videos coming out here soon. I just got the stuff last week. I haven't had a chance to get stuff put together and start doing it, but there will be some videos coming up here soon of inside the cabin and inside the tiny house. I haven't done any of them in a while. There has definitely been some changes, and more changes to come. And then I also still have to finish the area where the yellow tents were. There's a lot of trash pickup and stuff. I've been pretty much holding off on that for one simple reason, the dumpster, because the rest of the stuff over there needs to go in the trash. And being that I filled up the dumpster a week ago, this next week, the one that we just went through, I wanted to leave the dumpster as empty as possible. That way the Drifting Dreamers could utilize it, because there's 5 of them down there, and they end up with a lot more trash than what I do. So I wanted to make sure that they didn't get behind on their trash schedule, because I was filling it up with a big project. So they got all of their stuff situated this past week, and it got dumped yesterday, which means it's empty again. So this week I will be going back to finishing getting that area cleaned up. That way I can start doing all of the land transformations, you know, digging up stumps, leveling out, kind of all of that stuff. So that'll be coming this week as well. Still gonna be busy trying to utilize all of this time. We also got a trip coming up to Eureka Springs. Tim went over there with Ridge Life and Jinjin and Country Road Cure and myself. And there might even be a special guest. Stay tuned. But I've been trying to get to this area right here, guys, so y'all can see some more views. I've been doing what old Tim. I've been rambling. I've been rambling today. I feel good today, though. I feel good. I'm gonna eat some leftovers today because dinner last night was amazing. And I'm gonna get that video edited, and then I'm gonna go tinker in the woods a little bit, and I'm probably gonna do a little bit more test shooting, just to make sure that I'm at very, very confident with what I'm doing tomorrow. And yeah, go in there. Wow, they done stopped in the middle of the road. Old man done picked up his buddy, I guess. Talking about, what you doing out here, Bill? Isn't it a gorgeous day, guys? Gorgeous. I know I've talked about it earlier this week about work-life balance, and this is all part of it. I'm really enjoying this weekend. I'm enjoying to get back in the stands. It does serve a purpose, but it's something that I enjoy, and it's relaxing for me to be able to set up in the stand in the quiet and just kind of be in your thoughts and all of that other stuff, and just stay still for a little while and relax is very therapeutic for me. But at the same time, it serves a bigger purpose of being able to hopefully harvest some meat for the year to come. So, oh, that's a pretty horse. Pretty horse licking on the salt block. So it's kind of a win-win. I get a little downtime and a little bit of relaxation and a little mental break, but at the same time with the potential to help sustain myself for the year. And that's what it's all about, is sustainability. That's why we're cleaning up that area and getting ready for the raised beds, because I have dropped the ball on growing stuff. I'm not the best at it to begin with. I'm not bad at it, to be honest, guys. It's just time. When I'm so busy with other things, that's the first thing that kind of just slips through. And I have wasted a little bit of money buying plant starts and stuff like that, and never finishing it and, you know, getting it to fruition because I get busy on other things and just lose focus because I don't have the area set up right to do it. So I'm not buying anything else as far as that kind of stuff goes until I have the raised beds in place and set up to actually do it, because I think I've proved over the last 2 years that I'm just going to waste my money and time if I'm not set up properly for it. I know I can do it in buckets and stuff like that, but I never do. And I know me, if I don't have the right area set up, I'm never going to be a success at it. So I don't think I'm horrible at gardening. I mean, I grew up tending to our family's garden, and it was a big garden, like 5 acres, and a lot of work and all of that. So I do know a little bit about it. I'm no expert by no means, but I got a lot of experts around me, and also people that's very knowledgeable, like 3 Mississippi, old Mike over there. He's my garden guru. And then we got Roxanne over there, and she's pretty darn good herself, and a couple other people, so that I can reach out to and ask a lot of questions and stuff. I also actually talked to Mike from 3 Mississippi last night. We've been so busy we haven't spoke since Freedom Weekend. I did call him when I was on my trip back from Florida, but he never got back with me. He told me he never even seen the phone call, and he was thinking about the fishing trip that we got coming up at the end of October, our annual trout fishing trip. And he's like, man, I ain't talked to David in a while. So he gave me a call yesterday, and I was able to chat with him for a little while. So it was good catching up with my brother from Mississippi. And he told me that him and Frankie started working on the truck, old Superstar, and got her fired up. So that's exciting. And we just talked about kids and stuff like that, and just them growing up so fast and all of that. And they do, you know. She's grown up super fast. She is a very good young lady, and I see a very, very bright future for her. And they're doing it right. They are raising her right for sure. So we chatted about that and just caught up a little bit and talked about the fishing trip coming up and stuff like that. And it's a good time. Well, I think that's gonna be about it for this one, guys. Happy Friday, TGIF. I hope everybody has a phenomenal weekend, and if you are fortunate enough to be in the area where you get a special hunt this weekend, I wish y'all all the best, and wish me the best, and hopefully I can harvest some groceries this weekend. Love every single one of y'all. Do something nice for somebody. Take a step closer to your goals, guys. Keep it real. Come on.